Dennis, Binghamton, you're on the Wilkow Majority. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yes.
I was just listening to your rant a little earlier about the inside-outside companies. You know, if you're inside, like General Motors and
outside, like Ford.
You mentioned. Yeah. Then I was just wondering if, the same thing was true of when we go back 10 years, when we look at 8 years, when we look at Halliburton or the oil industry.
Okay.
I mean,
do me a favor. For the audience, tell us what Halliburton does.
Well, I know what they did for us.
No, tell us as a company, what does Halliburton do? Like McDonald's makes hamburgers. Ford makes automobiles. What does in total, what does Halliburton do as a company?
Well, they do a number of things, but I believe they started out as doing oil drilling and oil support.
Okay. Now, what other companies could compete with them for these contracts that they get?
I'm not sure, but if we put it out to bid, we might find out.
Well, Halliburton does more than oil services. They're basically an infrastructure company. And outside of the French company, Schlumberger, there's not a whole lot of other people that can do what Halliburton does. And Halliburton had gotten no big contracts from the Clinton administration, had gotten them from the Bush administration, and gets them from the Obama administration because there's not a whole lot of other people out there doing it. Now, that's not corporate welfare. You want to end the no-bid contract process, I'll join you in that.
Well,
but that's not corporate welfare. Corporate welfare is what, hold on a second, Dennis, I'll give you all the time. Corporate welfare is what GM got. That's corporate welfare. You want to end that practice? I'll join that with you too. Go ahead with your point.
Okay, and if General Motors pays back the money as car companies have been bailed out in the past, it's still welfare?
Why did they get it in the first place? They were making a product that the consumer wished not to buy.
Why did the banks get it?
What do you mean? Okay, again, who got corporate welfare from the federal government? You're all over the map here. We're talking General Motors, you're saying banks.
No, I'm talking about money from the government.
Okay. General Motors was losing in the marketplace. The government stepped in and gave them billions of dollars. They also created an escrow account from which they could draw money to quote unquote pay back the loans. So General Motors is nowhere near paying back the taxpayer. And if the taxpayer is to get paid back, when do we get our dividend checks for our investment?
Okay, and again, we go back to, the government hands out all kinds of money for all kinds of purposes.
And that is the problem. And that is the problem because there's no accountability. And if there was profit for the so-called taxpayer, the taxpayer whose cash was used for the revenue to bail out General Motors, if General Motors turns a big profit and the stock goes up and it's selling cars like wildfire, the government isn't going to turn back around and pass that benefit back to the people whose money it used to bail out General Motors. Unlike a real investment where if you succeed, if you take the risk, you get the reward. There's no reward for the taxpayer because the government will just spend that money on something else.
I agree with what you said. Now, where's my dividend from all the financial institutions that the government bailed out?
The government should not have bailed them out. They also shouldn't have put so many insane regulations on them that forced them to make loans to people they never would have made the loans to. And because they made those loans and created greater demand for homes, the price of homes went up, artificially creating the bubble that burst, that brought those banks down.
Well, the banks creating the credit default swaps brought the banks down.
No. If the government dictates who you're going to loan money to, and the government is making that dictate based on politics, not research, not the ability to pay back the loan, not the risk the bank takes when it makes a loan to anyone, but politics. And you add to the number of people who now, quote unquote, qualify for loans for homes. If you cross a line where there's more people with the money, quote unquote, to buy a home than there are homes available in the market, the price of the homes go up. If there are fewer buyers in the market, the price of the homes go down. The bubble was created by government. Right now, as we speak, GMAC is creating a loan program, that's General Motors Acceptance Corp, for people to buy brand new GM cars with credit scores lower than 620. The government is now orchestrating the next big bubble and burst. Thank you very much for the call.